and welcome to FinextraTV. I'm Advi Sonia and we're here at EBADay in Copenhagen. Joining me today is Craig Ramsey from ACI Worldwide. Hi Craig, how are you today?
I'm good, thank you.
Thank you so much for joining us.
Pleasure.
Today we're going to be talking about instant payments, which is a topic that has always been talked about at EBADay. What's the next chapter for instant payments?
Well, instant payments is now a normal payment rail. It's business as usual. Customers, whether they're consumers or corporates, are now expecting to pay with instant payments. And that's seen some phenomenal growth over the years, but that's going to get exponentially higher as more use cases are adopted into instant payments. We see initiatives like Wero really taking off across Europe and more merchant use of instant payments, and that's what's going to drive the growth even further. What's there for the future is making sure you can deal with that growth, the scalability, the reliability. All of those things are going to be essential to ensure that you can still process payments forever in the future.
And I guess banks have been preparing for these infrastructure challenges and making those digital changes. What more can they do?
Well, not all rails look the same. How you process an ACH payment versus a Swift correspondent payment versus an instant versus an RTGS on Target 2, they all look a little different. They have similar processes, but they have different scale of complexity in various workflow steps. And sadly, the world's never going to look that simple ever again. Maybe that's a good thing. We're seeing the advent of digital assets, stablecoins, tokenized deposits. Those are all going to add to ever more complex payment environments that banks need to operate in. Customers of the banks, the consumers, the corporations, are going to expect the bank to bring those propositions to them in a simple form. No one's going to be setting out to decide to do one coin transaction versus a different coin transaction. They expect the bank to deliver that. So the relative simplicity of payments orchestration today will only get ever more complex as we go through the following years.
Yeah, I guess it's all about that complexity, but also providing that choice and considering that sheer volume of payments that is to come. One question I did want to ask you was around fraud. So as that increases, where do the newer elements of AI and digital payments integration, where do they come in? Yeah,
fraud is obviously a very complex subject. As you look against friendly fraud, you look against retailer fraud, APP, the different elements of fraud bring in different complexities in their own rights. What we're looking at now, though, is the use of that now widely spread ISO 20022 data that brings in the much higher quality data of the transaction to enable you to look for the signals of fraud. Looking at a transaction in isolation may not tell you whether it's fraudulent, but when you look at it across the ecosystem of the customer use or how the customer is executing that transaction, a signal will stand out that it's probably a fraudulent transaction. And that's where AI is going to help. It's going to help look across the consumer experience to see whether there's genuine fraud being attempted or whether it's a genuine transaction.
Lovely, thank you so much. We've covered a lot there. Thanks so much for joining us in the studio.
Thank you.
Have a great EBADay.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you.